my SM3 kids. How would you like to go to Costco with me and try some delicious pickled sauerkraut? Doesn't it seem like that's sometimes what they're sampling at Costco? Kind of gross. And people still eat it. I don't get it. All right, today, chapter 10.2, we're going to talk about populations, samples, like this guy's handing out, and hypotheses. All right, a lot of vocab. So, I put this in here to remind myself. I typed up the vocabulary words for you. It is a PDF file attached to this lesson in Canvas. I recommend you print this out. If you are unable to print it, please write these vocabulary words down. Now, on the PDF, I gave you a little bit of space between each vocabulary word, so if you want to put examples on there, you can. It's not that hard, though, okay? All right, so first of all, here's a couple of vocabulary words. A population is the collection of all data, such as responses, like in a survey, measurements, like the average size of kids' feet when they're in kindergarten, or counts, like how many pets the average 16-year-old has, I don't know, something like that. Or counts that you want information about, okay? A sample is what used to consist of my parents' lunch at Costco. I'm not lying. They would go to Costco and they would, now granted, you gotta remember, old people don't eat a ton like they used to. And so my parents would, shuffle around from table to table, and then they might go through again 2 or 3 times, and that would be their lunch, is pickled sauerkraut. Okay, but seriously, a sample is a subset of a population. And so let's talk about that a little bit. Okay, so first of all, a sample needs to be a good representation of a population, okay? So if a population is everybody, okay, a sample is a subset, but it pretty much has to represent everyone. So here's an example of what a bad sample is, okay? It's if you ask the residents of a senior living center how many cars they own, and then say, this is the average amount of cars that everyone in the country owns. Well, no, because if you ask people in a senior living center, they either have 0 cars or maybe 1. 2 if they're loaded, I guess. I don't know. So, residents of a senior living center would not be a good sample representation for this question. Okay, so let's look at this example. We want to distinguish between populations and samples. This is what we're trying to do. So, identify the population and the sample and describe the sample. Okay, so in the United States, so first of all, that's the whole country, a survey of 2,184 adults, ages 18 and over, found that 1,328 of them own at least 1 pet. So what is the population of this question? Well, the population is every adult over 18 in the U.S. Okay, that is the population. That is who we're dealing with. Okay, but the sample, because do you really think they'd be able to get a hold of every single adult in the U.S.? No. So you have to take a sample, and our sample is 2,184 people. Is that a large sample in the U.S.? No. So the bigger the sample, the more accurate your information is going to be. 2,184 people, that's like how many kids go to the school, less than that. So not a very big sample group. Okay, B, to estimate the gasoline mileage of new cars sold in the U.S., a consumer advocacy group tests 845 new cars and finds they have an average of 25.1 miles per gallon. Okay, so population here. What is it that we're testing? This is every new car in the U.S. Okay, could that be done? If you required it of like automakers, then yeah, this one's probably a little more doable. But they took a sample of 845 new cars. Now, I think if they all did just little tiny Kias, and they did one kind of car, then this wouldn't be accurate at all. So they would have to take a good sample of, you know, probably one or two examples of every kind of car, and I think that that would be pretty accurate. All right, so I want you to try this one. It's not going to be difficult, but look at the information and you decide what is the population and what is the sample. So go ahead and pause me now. If you're watching this, you probably didn't pause right when you should have. Okay, so we're back. To estimate the retail prices for 3 grades of gasoline sold in the United States, the Energy Information Association calls 800 retail gasoline outlets, records the prices, and then determines the average price for each grade. Okay, so for number 1, our population is every retail gasoline outlet. So Maverick, Amoco, you know, things like that. Every retail gas outlet. Okay, and our sample is 800 stores. Is that accurate? Not if all the 800 stores are like in Los Angeles and that area. It would have to be a smattering of all over the place. That would be a good sample. Okay, number 2, a survey of 446 shoppers in the U.S. found that they spent, in the U.S. Found that they spent an average of $407.02 from Thursday through Sunday during a recent Thanksgiving holiday. Okay, population. Every shopper in the U.S. And the sample, they talked to 4,464 shoppers. Okay, my question with this one, is this accurate? Again, it depends on who they're talking to. If they're only talking to 18-year-olds, that's going to be a lot different than if they're talking to a plethora of people from 18 and older. My question with this one is, what is a shopper? How do you define a shopper? Like, I shop, I have to. I have to go to the grocery store. I have to go buy clothes, but I don't consider myself a shopper because I don't like it. I like shopping for shoes, but I don't like shopping. So, okay, so just some things to think about. All right, going on to the next video.